Boom!
Yeah,
There it is. All right, ladies and gents. No music today because I'm still in the classroom.
What?
Holy crap, I just can't get out of this place. But that's okay. I knew I was going to be here because I'm sticking to a schedule, aka my calendar. That's what we're talking about today. So here we
Boom!
Shut up and sit down.
The Business Bros Podcast was created for you. Learn from the business professionals who come to share their stories. Find out what's working in business, on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of successful entrepreneurs out there doing the real work. And now, welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros.
Man, oh man, it is Wednesday. Hump day.
Hump day. Yeah,
Almost said it was
good
my
thing,
favorite.
I know. I was gonna say, good thing you're not messing it up and calling it Thursday again.
Well, dude, Thursday's a great day. It
is a great day.
It's so
Friday
happy on
Eve.
Thursday. It's Friday Eve.
Oh,
All right,
wait. Are we just celebrating Fridays? Did we just celebrate Fridays? We might have just celebrated Fridays.
I'm cool. I celebrate every day. Thursday's cool. It's just because it has an acronym. I should actually use the acronym and just make 2 of those slides and say, so happy it's Tuesday, because Tuesday's pretty effective too.
Tuesday's
All
pretty
right.
great.
Sticking to a schedule and aka the calendar. That's the topic for today's episode. I don't know about you guys, but I have not always been a calendar type of person. It took a little while for me to get on that track, like to actually start using it to my, I don't know, to my level, my calendar, dude. Like prior to podcasting, I used it a little. Right?
Okay.
It was kind of a thing that was there on my phone, and I could fill up some stuff every now and again. Kind of, it was more like a reminder, right? Like I use a calendar, like I'm gonna look at it on my phone, and I'm gonna kind of pay attention to it a little bit, but I didn't really use it like effectively. I didn't really schedule my day around it. And then
but back then probably you didn't have as much stuff going on either, right?
No, I mean, of course I had stuff going on, but it was more like the way most people do it today, right? Most people are like, I know what time I got to go to work. I know what time I get off. I know what time my kids are going to go to practice. And like, it's that routine where you essentially don't really, need a calendar per se, right? But
if your day is basically the same every day, like, if you're the type of person that has the 9 to 5 and you got to get the kids to school, so like you got to be up at a certain time to get yourself ready, then get the kids up at a certain time and then do breakfast and get them to school and go to work and then come home and take them to soccer practice and take them, like, that's all just routine stuff.
Yeah. But even then, having a calendar, I think, is super beneficial. So Joe Rogan talks about how, when people look at his stuff and his life, and they always say things like, dude, you are so disciplined. Like, how do you get things done? Like, I don't understand how you're just so, focused on what you want to do. And he talks about how when he was growing up, he didn't do good in school, didn't get good grades, never did any homework. His room was always a mess. Right. And so people who have fly off the cuff routine where people are telling them what to do. It's your kids at school that's telling you what time to get up and drop them off. It's your work that's telling you what time to clock in. It's those types of situations where that's the type of people that kind of get lost in this motion. Mm-hmm. The power of having this calendar, the power of putting things into your calendar is pretty basic, pretty simple. You see how much extra time you actually have. Right. So even though you get up at a certain time, you get the kids ready, you drop stuff off at school, or you drop them off at school, you go to work, you do your thing. Right. Even though that's there's still flexibility in your day. The other day we were talking about,
I feel like you're talking more about a schedule as opposed to a calendar. Well,
it's kind of one and the same. Right. So it starts off with a schedule. Absolutely. So I mean, picture this, or think about it like this. When you have certain things in your life that you're putting on the schedule, there are certain places, there are certain gaps that are free time, right? And as everybody knows, no matter how much free time you have, you're going to fill it with something, right? You're going to do whatever it's going to be. Sometimes you're going to bust your phone out and you're going to start watching some TikToks or something. Sometimes you're going to just kind of munch, right? There's your daily schedule, right?
Yeah,
Now,
this is what I used to live on right here.
let me make you the big
This was
screen.
yeah,
Woo!
this was my you know, as early, I mean, this is the most recent one that I did was Q1 of this year. I don't think I did one for Q2 because by then I was like in you know, sabbatical mode. But like this is the kind of stuff that I used to do from 4:40 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. I mean, literally, I was scheduling every single little thing,
Even poop.
and even poop times. But like, I mean, is this what you're talking about? Like, are
So
we
this
are
is
we
the
having
beginning
people?
part, right? So this
Okay,
is the beginning part. This is how it starts. So, you know, I didn't use my calendar. And it wasn't until I started putting my schedule into my calendar that I noticed that I start to have these gaps of time. So last time we were talking about that 10% of time, right? 2 hours and 15 minutes of your day. If you can
that
take 2
wasn't
hours
even
and
the bad
15
one.
minutes of your day, invest that into yourself, you're going to make a difference, whether it's working out or reading books or implementing something for your side hustle, whatever it's going to be. 2 hours and 15 minutes is your time. But what people often say is, I don't have time, right? I can't,
Yes.
I can't
I
do
stopped
that.
using that phrase.
Right. And so,
I don't have the
first,
time. No, I don't make the time.
that's the key right there is I don't make the time, right? I don't make the time is the biggest part, but it starts with your schedule and using something like a calendar, right? So, on my calendar, if I pulled up my calendar for the day, like you're going to see I have school blocked off, right? That's
Yep.
part of my schedule, it's part of my routine. And
Yep.
and even though it's on that calendar right there, it's ready to go. Like I don't exactly know what I'm doing each period. I don't have it squared out that far, but I know that during this time, I'm going to be on campus. And then after
Right.
that is all these other things. And so as you start filling in your schedule on the things that you are already routinely doing, these are all your regular mundane tasks. These are the things that you were showing on your schedule. Then you start to see some gaps, right? And your schedule that you showed, James, doesn't really have any gaps because
Oh, I
that
didn't. I
schedule.
tried to fill it as much as I could. Yeah.
Right, because you started with a schedule of things that you are already doing, and then you saw that time, right? And that's where the key for using a calendar makes so much sense. You see, the excuse of I don't have time only exists because you don't have a schedule, right? You don't have a schedule set in place. And so, since you don't have a schedule set in place, you're not ready to rock and roll on that thing. You're not setting yourself up to have that time gap that you need.
This thing's
Right?
just crazy.
Exactly. Hem, you gotta do some private messaging real quick.
Got it.
All right. So in the meantime, I'll drop in. You can just stay on the screen. That's fine.
Yep. Yep.
So the schedule, at first it was one of those things where I'm just filling my normal day to day. It was just the routine. And then when I saw those gaps, I started to fill in the things that I wanted to do. So these are things now where you're starting to focus your attention on finding that time, because the excuse of not having time, that thing's gone out the window. That's long and gone. It's not that you don't have time. You definitely have time. You're ready to rock it. Here it is now that you can see it clearly on your schedule, on your calendar. And so now you start to fill in that time. Now it's like, okay, well, I noticed I have a 30-minute gap between, after I eat lunch and before I have to go to my next scheduled routine. Well, 30 minutes. It doesn't sound like much, but there's a lot of stuff that you can get done in 30 minutes. There's a lot of regular day-to-day stuff that you can do. You can fill in 30 minutes of time, no problem, when you're maybe setting up an ad campaign, for example, or you're starting to build your social media presence. So you're creating some pieces of content, or you're going to start to go for a walk and you're going to start to, walk around the block, or, all kinds of ors that you can come up with. But now that time exists on your calendar. Now there's a spot there for you to fill. So
I want to show you something real quick because of this schedule that I have out right now. And I was kind of laughing about it a little bit. So this here was actually my old one. And we can see there's a bunch of like Eat Your Frog, which has to do with the book, The One Thing, or Eating Your Frog, and pipe drive activities, more emails, like all of this stuff. And one of the things that I was kind of trying to do to give myself time to schedule in time for me was to change those things up. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll throw in like some yoga, right, to take care of myself, and some meditation, to take care of myself, and journaling, whatever, like trying to do these extra things to squeeze them into that pre-existing schedule, kind of replacing some of that um constant work, I guess, that I was doing to actually make time for myself. And even in both of these, doesn't matter which one, there's the 6:30 to 9:30 down there at the bottom where I say dinner, quality time and date nights, visit kids, junto, relax time. Like that's like I even scheduled my time off.
Now, I know we're going to get pushback on this, right? Because I'll give you a perfect example. The wife and I are always going back and forth because she loves spontaneity. She doesn't want to live on my calendar. She feels, to her, it's like, I'm more special than your calendar. I don't have to abide by that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is time that you can schedule in for spontaneity. So one of the things I'm trying to get her to do is, look, some of the busiest things for me is this podcast, is the people who have scheduled ahead of time. We're booked out we're booking into November right now for guests that are going to be on the show. So those people have made a commitment to be on. I'm going to make that same commitment to be on with them. Right. So this is part of my routine. It's built into my schedule. I live and die by my schedule. So what I'm encouraging her to do is to say, okay, look, this is the time that we're going to go on vacation. I'm going to block this off. Right. We may not know what we're going to do. Next week, I'm supposed to be going to Hawaii, assuming Hawaii is still open because of all the COVID stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm supposed to go to a wedding in Hawaii. Right. And so on my calendar, it's blocked off. Those dates and times, that's all that's there. And I don't know exactly what's going on in Hawaii. We could be visiting Pearl Harbor. We could be at a reception. We could be doing whatever, sitting at the beach doing nothing. That's where the spontaneity comes in, right? That's the spontaneity right there. But it's still on the calendar. This time is blocked off for that sort of fun. And I encourage her to do the same thing in the future. I mean, we're both teachers, so there's certain breaks that we get. There's Christmas break, there's fall break, there's spring break, there's summers, right? Block off the time that you want, and then we'll make things happen. But those times are scheduled. Even your fun has to be disciplined. If you're going to be some sort of something in the future, you're going to have some sort of success, you're going to become some writer, actor, influencer, you're going to start a side business, you're going to be a better parent, whatever it's going to be, you need to have a lot of that time scheduled away, because the bottom line is, if you don't have anything on the calendar, you're going to sit back, twiddle your thumbs, and figure out what you're going to do. And while you're figuring it out, that TikTok is just going, time is ticking away. It's going away. It's going away. That's where the productivity comes in. Now, Ham, once you set up that schedule, once you had that stuff in your calendar, what was it like when you are giving of your time to other people? How did that work out once you have a calendar set up?
I'm trying to kind of figure out what you're asking. So there's like this crazy schedule that I had, and then like my specific time that I set away. Are you talking about like if something comes up and I need to replace some other thing?
So I was talking about how when you were growing the agency, there was a time where your schedule was filled with agent support hours.
Yeah.
So it was this hour of training, 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here, an hour here. What was that like? Like, you knew what you were doing, even though you didn't exactly know what you were doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was. It was people setting up specific times to talk to me. And like you said, it was either an hour or 2 hours, whatever it was. But the great thing about it was that it, my calendar told me exactly who I needed to talk to and when. I mean, it was really easy getting that set up, and I loved the way that I did it. It was just this little link on the bottom of my email, and people knew if they needed to get in touch with me, if they needed help with anything. A lot of times I was able to help them same day, but if not, just schedule it. I would say that works better in situations where people don't need help, like right here, right now. Because if they need help right here, right now, scheduling something for tomorrow isn't going to work. But even then, I usually had at least like I tried to make an hour out of my day where I didn't have anything scheduled. Usually I was trying to stuff some food in my face at that time. But other than that, I mean, how many times did I work through lunch? How many times did I work late? How many times did I wake up early? How many times, it was that was when, it was really constantly putting in the work. It was getting up before all of those appointments, prepping my whole day, making sure that that I'm taking care of myself early on, getting through those different appointments and chatting with people, and then afterwards, making sure that I still do all of the administrative stuff and all of, whatever within the agency that wasn't directly just talking to people that still needed to be done. So I mean, it was a lot. And a lot of times, that's what a lot of people do is they will fill those calendars with work, 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 more work, 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 work. And then, it's like people that take up your time and people that were taking up my time otherwise, a lot of times it felt inconvenient, to like do stuff for myself. So
Let's talk about that, because this is the part where sticking to the schedule is the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
Creating the schedule, putting it on your calendar, okay, that can get a little tedious, but you could put little repetitions for things that you're doing on a regular basis, right? And then, when you have people that want to make appointments with you, times that they want to set, there's nice little links that we can set up. So how do you stick
Easy.
to the schedule, right? Why does it work if you work it, right? So I like to give this example. Every time my alarm goes off at 4:20 in the morning and I wake up and I get up and I put my socks on, I put my shoes on, I put my workout gear and I get ready to start the workout, just the fact that I got up, just the fact that I put my gym clothes on, those are wins right off the bat. And to me, having those things on the calendar, having wins, especially early on in your day, are setting you up for success. I hate running. I do it every day, but I do not like it. But I love the feeling I have when I'm done, right? When I
Yep.
finish that, it feels amazing. The rest of my day, I walk a little bit taller. I feel a lot better because it got done, right? In the morning, before school was out, when I didn't have to come to class, then after my workout, that's my productivity time. My mind is like it's just going. It's got all kinds of new juices, endorphins. It's ready to rock and roll. The creativity is high. When I get to class, my students might not be very awake, but my energy is up. I've already had a series of win after win after win, things that I can chalk up on my calendar to say that I'm already done. And that to me is how I stick to the schedule. That is to me one of the reasons why when I see it and I got to get it done, it's because that check mark, that ability to say, dang, look at my day. I did this and this and this and this and this. I was productive today. And I knew I was going to be productive the day before, the week before, because my calendar told me exactly what I was going to do. When you talk to people who talk about, the prime time in their life, right? These are people who are always looking back oftentimes at their high school days or their college days. These are the days where they were rigorously sticking to a schedule. The difference was the schedule was imposed on them versus them creating their own, right? And this is your opportunity to live your life by design, not by default. Go ahead.
Oh,
Ham.
yes. I was just going to say, like, I love what you're talking about. And this makes me think of my other little thing that I was doing for a long time, which is this weekly planner, the weekly calendar. This was almost as effective or just as effective in different ways as keeping anything on the calendar or creating that daily schedule that I showed you. Doing the weekly planner is actually one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Don't know if you realize that, but that is one of the seven habits. And going through on Sunday and saying, okay, these are the 3 things that I want to get done this week. In order to get these 3 things done, for number one, these are 3 things that I need to do. So I actually saw a cool TikTok video today. How do you like that?
What?
I know, right? So you've heard of spoon theory, right?
Actually, no, I haven't. Wait,
No
is it
spoon
the
theory?
Matrix type spoon
No,
theory?
no.
There is
It's
no spoon.
it's a psychology thing. So spoon theory is for people who when they're dealing with chronic issues, they have like so many spoons throughout the day. Like they have enough spoons to do 5 things. And so you imagine carrying 5 spoons and they do one thing, like take a shower, and that's a spoon, make a good meal for themselves. That's a spoon, right? They only have enough spoons for so many things. But this lady talked about forks, right? Because in order to do a task, there are prongs, there are steps, right? So let's say, for example, you want to create a new ad, right? Well, the first thing you need to do is open Adobe Premiere or whatever software you use to create your ads, right? That's one of the prongs in the fork, right? Then after that, you have to choose your video and create a clip. And then after that, you have to upload it to this or that. Like there are steps,
In order for
right?
you to achieve that
it's
fork.
just one fork, but there are steps in between. So imagine every week you've got 3 forks and you want to get these 3 forks. You want to put some meat on each of those 3 forks. But in order to get those 3 forks done, you got to do each of those little prongs. And that's what the weekly planner did for me.
And that's something that I kind of want to harp on too, because look, once you develop a discipline, right? Once you develop a routine, it gets really boring if you start doing the same thing over and over again. So you start to challenge the way you do it, right? So, when I first started getting on the workout kick and I was like, all right, let's do this. My goal was to do 200 push-ups, but there was no way I was going to do that in 30 minutes time that I'm doing it now. So I gave myself 4 hours. As long as I could do 200 push-ups in 4 hours, I was good. So every hour, my alarm would go off on my phone, and then I'd drop down and do 50 push-ups. And it might take me 30 minutes or whatever to do the 50 push-ups. But eventually I got to the point where 4 hours, well, I don't need 4 hours. I can do it in 3. I don't need 3 hours. I can do it in 2. I don't need 2 hours. I can do it in 1. Now we're doing 240 push-ups in like a 30-minute time frame. Right? You build that muscle to try to improve that habit, right? Literally improving the muscle, right? But in this case, the habit of when you have something on your calendar, now it's like, well, those are great things to have on my calendar. How can I make them better? And so you start to do extra things here. Now it's like, well, maybe if I journal every night and kind of recap on what I'm doing, that's going to help me improve. You're going to have it written down. Oh, you know what? Now, if I prepare on Sunday nights and I list out my goals for the week, that'll make these time gaps more effective. Right. And all of a sudden you're doing a little bit more till your efficiency and your productivity is huge. And people are looking at you like, how do you get so much done?
Did I show you my habit tracker already?
You sent it to me.
I sent it to you. I mean,
Tell
I
me
might
about
as,
it
might as
because
well,
there's listeners and viewers. So tell me
yeah,
about
I
it.
might as well share it while we're here. And don't mind the craziness of our screen. But this is my habit tracker. So when you're talking about, wanting to know how I'm doing on different things, like I can tell you, no,
I see our screen, but maybe it's just on my end. I see the ultimate screen and then I see our screen.
that's weird. Okay, fine. Well, I will try that again in a minute. But so my habit tracker is essentially oh, that's why. Entire screen. Let's try it again. I hit the wrong button. Now you can see it?
Now we can see it.
Here we go. So it's the spreadsheet, and I have the habits that I want to do, the things that I want to do, right, every day. That, like, ideally, I would do all of this stuff every single day. But I'm not crazy to think that I can do all of it every day. But there are some important ones, right? Like I could tell you the 5 a.m. call, our Justice League call. Since I started tracking it, I've missed 1, 2, 3 days, including today. I missed today. My bad, guys.
For the month of
and
August.
gals. For the month of August, though, I've been up. And even this day was it wasn't a 5 a.m. club, but I got up early anyway. But you know, my circuit, right? You talk about doing your 200 push-ups. Like I try to work in some push-ups and things, but I'm not nearly as consistent as you. I do it like less than once a week. But my running's a lot more consistent. You know, 2, 3, 4 times a week, whatever. So like this gives me the visual. So I could say, you know, I'm doing really good on drinking water every day. That's awesome. But, you know, I can look down here and say, you know, journaling, I've only been journaling once a week, give or take. And so this week I was like, I'm going to concentrate a little bit more on journaling. Last week I had a goal of reading Dad's book 3 times. So by Friday, I was like, by Friday morning, I hadn't done 3. I'd only done once. I was like, okay, Friday. And then I got into it again on Sunday. So I was able to read Dad's book. But like, this is why this habit tracker is really important to me now or valuable to me now, because I'm not using my weekly planner and my calendar and my crazy ass schedule the way that I was, right? I'm being a little bit more laxed with myself and allowing myself to, if you see down here, get between 3 and 7 habit tracker things done. Thank you, Amuda, for that one. So as long, like, I feel good if I'm getting between 3 to 7 of these things done. I feel great when I get more.
That's cool, because you're looking at it from a month to month as well as on a daily basis.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I'm looking at it weekly. I can look back at my whole month, and it helps me, you know, at the beginning of next month, maybe I'll say, well, this habit obviously doesn't matter to me. Like, for example, what's one that I haven't even touched yet? Meditation. I did it twice. Maybe it's not that important to me. Maybe I don't really need to be tracking that so much.
But still,
I can make those decisions.
That's the point here, right? That's the point is, again,
if it can be measured, it can be improved. That's what I always say. And
you now have the ability to make the time. The time is there. The time is there. The problem that you have is not that you don't have time, is that you're not tracking your time. The problem is you're not sticking to a schedule. You're not sticking to your calendar.
Right.
So let's give you guys these last couple minutes here. You got 2 minutes till the end of the show. Take these last 2 minutes and open up your calendar and just literally fill in the stuff that you're already doing routinely and see where the gaps are. Wherever you find those gaps, now what is it that you want to achieve? What is it you want to do? And just start with one thing. If it's something as simple as working out, maybe it's something like, you know, I don't know, starting that side hustle, reading a book, whatever it is, put that in the calendar.
Where can you fit that in?
Where can you fit that in? And 15 minutes is not a short period of time. 15 minutes,
and then
you can get a lot of things done. And then track it, right? And then track it. And that's it. That's all it takes. A little bit of effort can take you a long way. All right, Ham.
Happy to share these resources. Hit us, and we're happy to share these resources. Hit us up at Business Bros Pod, at Practicing Poly A. Happy to share these resources and, you know, help y'all out if y'all want to do this stuff.
And if you guys are ready to grow your business, maybe you need help getting some new customers, right? Maybe you need help getting some referrals. I'd love to be able to help you guys with that. That's what we do. So go to businessbros.biz and then check out the different services. We can help you with video testimonials. We can help you out with Facebook ads. Essentially, we want to help you grow your business. So hit us up, businessbros.biz. We're here to help. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace. And we're out.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you looking to get more clients or to increase your income? Hernan, the business bro, can help you generate referrals through the power of podcasting. And James, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, can help you effectively add insurance to your existing business. If you are ready to create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, email businessbros@csfirst.com to schedule a free consultation or join the Business Bros Network, www.businessbros.biz.